All right, so this is going to be the solution to your exercise 14, in which we are to deal with three scenarios. One is probably an extract, one is a custom report, and the third is the crosstab. Now it says you're advising the Inuit Gallery, a small art gallery. You're going to demonstrate some of the ways in which a relational database can be used to provide necessary information quickly and an easily understandable form. The first step says using a suitable software package, create a new database. And then you are to import these three files. You will need the following information to create tables. So there are three files. We are to import them. Always keep in mind whenever they mention that you have to create a relational database, you are to create the primary keys. Otherwise, your relationship will not be correct and your reports generated are not going to be correct. They have not mentioned, they have not specified which field is to be specified as the primary key. You are to decide it on your own. Keeping in mind the primary key has to be unique. It cannot exist multiple times. It cannot have duplicates. All right, so first of all, we are going to open up Access. We create a blank database. Important step, where you want to save it. I will save this database in the same folder by the name solution to Access EX14. Click on create. Since we are to import, we are going to close the blank table. Straight away go to external data, new data from file, text file. Since all of these three are CSV files, which is a generic file format. So first file is sculpt03. Now I'm not going to take help from the table provided to specify the fields or the data types. I will try to do it on my own. And then probably in the end, I will also verify it so that I practice which field is to be set as what data type. It is detected as delimited. The first row contains the field names. Click on next. The reference seems to be in integer form, so long integer is fine. Price has to be currency. Description seems to be short text. Material seems to be long integer. Date, it is not in the full date form, so we can go ahead with long integer. Size, now this has the symbol X representing the multiplication sign, so it is specified as short text, which is fine. Artist seems to be long integer. It's a series of numbers, whole numbers, so long integer, fine. I don't have to change any of the data types which are basically being selected by Access by default. Click on next. Primary key, I will specify the reference as the primary key. If they are going to be duplicates, when I specify a primary key, it will prompt or it will give me an error. So if I click on next, no error came. So this is basically the sculpt03 file which is imported. Next in line is artist03. So new data again from file, text file, browse, artist03, click on OK. Again detected as delimited, click on next. First row contains the field names, but there is a difference, a slight difference, which is very important. Listen carefully. When you are at this step, when you are to specify that the first row is containing the field names or not, which is probably the 95% of the cases in which the first row is containing the field names, whether correct or not correct, that's not the point. Always have a look at your data. Always have a look at your data below. I'm not referring to the field names, I'm referring to the data. If I go back, look at the data. every field has a comma or every row has a comma and there are speech marks. Can you see them in the data? Yeah. And when I click on next, obviously it's a delimited file. The comma is going to separate the field. But what about the speech marks? When I click on next, usually when you are importing, this part, the text qualifier, is by default set to none. The paper that I'm solving right now is not the Cambridge paper, it's a diploma paper. So it's designed differently. Cambridge encodes or sends the file in a different format. What I'm trying to say is, for instance, if you look at artist ID, what data type do you think is going to be specified for artist ID? Long integer, right? But if I put in speech marks along with the artist ID, then it becomes what? Short text. So there's going to be a problem in specifying the field data type. 2. If I was to utilize this particular field in a calculation, let's say I want to do in the query, add this or multiply this with a number. तो अगर इसमें speech marks होंगे तो क्या होगा? Error आ जाएगा. Calculate ही नहीं होगा. ठीक है? So ये मैंने आपको इतना slowly, gradually इसलिए बताया है कि जब आप इस step पे होंगे, when you are to specify the first row as the field names, always have a look at your data. If your data has speech marks, कैम्ब्रिज के पेपर में या कैम्ब्रिज की फाइल में स्पीच मार्क्स होंगे, यहां पे क्या हो रहा है? ऑटोमेटिकली रिमूव हो रहे हैं. ठीक है, ऑटोमेटिकली रिमूव हो रहे हैं बिकॉज द सपोर्टिंग फाइल इज इनकोडेड इन अ वे कि वो ऑटोमेटिकली जो है ना उसको पिक कर लेता है और उसको डिलीट कर देता है. कैम्ब्रिज डिफरेंटली उसको इनकोड करता है, जिसकी वजह से वो डिलिबरेटली आपकी डेटा फील्ड में स्पीच मार्क्स प्रेजेंट हो सकते हैं या अपॉस्ट्रोफी भी हो सकती है. कहने का मतलब यह है कि when you reach this point, if you have speech marks or apostrophe in your data, you are to specify the particular character in the text qualifier to remove it. अगर apostrophe नजर आ रहा है तो apostrophe को select कर लेना. अगर speech marks नजर आ रहे हैं तो speech marks को select कर लेना, so that there is no data import errors. आपकी ये डेट फील्ड भी हो सकती है. डेट फील्ड के ऊपर स्पीच मार्क्स लगे होंगे तो वो क्या बन जाएगी? टेक्स्ट बन जाएगी. ठीक है, सो वो डेट का इंपोर्ट एरर आ जाएगा. करेंसी के ऊपर नहीं आएगा, लेकिन फिर भी करेंसी की फाइल क्या होगी? शॉर्ट टेक्स्ट डिटेक्ट हो जाएगी. सो ऑलवेज मेक श्योर दैट whenever your data is present or over here, you are to specify the correct text qualifier. Your data should not have any apostrophe और speech marks. अगर मैं इसको none पे करता हूं, ये देखो क्या होता है. Can you see this? Field names के लिए it does not have an effect. It is because of the data that you are to specify the correct text qualifier. So when you are importing, it will show the data like this. Again, name के अंदर अगर speech marks detect हो भी जाते हैं तो प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, क्योंकि नेम ऑलरेडी क्या आ रहा है? शॉर्ट टेक्स्ट आ रहा है. लोकेशन शॉर्ट टेक्स्ट आएगी. अगर मैं इसको इस तरह इग्नोर भी कर दूं तो सिर्फ ये होगा कि मेरे डेटा में स्पीच मार्क्स नजर आएंगे, अदरवाइज प्रॉब्लम नहीं आएगी. ये प्रॉब्लम आती है जब आपका डेटा टाइप जो है वो लॉन्ग इंटीजर स्पेसिफाई होना होता है और वो आपको शॉर्ट टेक्स्ट रखना पड़ जाता है, या डेट स्पेसिफाई होना है, शॉर्ट टेक्स्ट रखना पड़ गया, या फिर बुलियन नजर आ रहा है या येस और नो नजर आ रहा है बट उसको भी आपने शॉर्ट टेक्स्ट स्पेसिफाई कर दिया. ठीक है, सो यू विल हैव इंपोर्ट एरर्स इफ यू डोंट डू इट. So always have a look at your data below. If it has an apostrophe, select apostrophe. If it has speech marks, select speech marks and it will get rid of that particular character. Are we clear on this? Any question? Okay. So we click on next. Over here, artist ID seems to be long integer. Name is short text. Location, short text. Next, primary key, I'm going to specify artist ID. Click on next. Artist 03 is the third table. Click on close. Third file, from file, text file, we select the material or matter, whatever it is. So 03 open, click on OK, click on next. First to contain the field names. Again, you can see the text qualifier is selected by default. If it was none, you can see that the stone field was supposed to be yes or no, but it has speech marks, so it won't be set to yes, no. It will have import errors. So we're going to select the text qualifier to remove. ID seems to be long integer, color seems to be short text, substitution short text, stone is yes or no. Click on next. Primary key is supposed to be ID. Next, this is matter. Third, table imported. I'm just going to make sure that this displays as yes or no. So opening this up, going to the design view, click on stone, come down to the lookup, change it to a text box and the format to yes, no. Back to your data sheet, displayed as yes or no. This is done. Opening up artist. This is fine. Opening up sculpt. And this is also fine. So close to save changes. Now, next is establish the following one-to-many relationships. Artist ID is basically linked with artist in the sculpt. So database tools, relationships, we're going to add all our tables. Resize so that all the fields are visible. So artist ID in the artist table linked to artist in the sculpt table. Artist ID with artist in the sculpt table over here. So click, drag and drop it over artist. This is the relationship type, which is one-to-many created. All right. Next is the ID with the sculpt material. Okay, the ID needs to be linked with material in the sculpt table. So drag drop one-to-many relationship created. Click on close, click on yes to save. Next. Supply only the details of sculptures where description contains the word where. Print the details of these products in ascending order of date and ascending order of description. This is basically a query on an extract that you are to make. So I will just create a query design, add your tables. We are to supply the details of sculptures where the description contains the word where. So we'll add the first field, which is actually the description. Yep. We click on run to have a look at the data. Anything which contains where needs to be included. So the criteria for description is going to be star, where, star. Anything in front of where, anything after where should be there. It should contain it. Click on run. This is the data that we have. Some entries it's appearing at the end, some entries it's appearing at the start. So that satisfies the condition. 2. You are to print the details of these products in ascending order of date and ascending order of description. Come back to the design view. Details of this product. We have the reference, we have the price, we have the material, we have the date, we have the size, we have the artist. So sculpt is basically the product itself, the sculpture, right? You may shift or let's say make the order specified in the table as it is. So we have reference, price, description, material, date, size, artist. Okay, needs to be in ascending order of date and ascending order of description. Click on run. This is how the data is. This is exactly what you need to print. Click on close. I'm going to save this as an extract. We're not supposed to print them. You can save them as a PDF if you want for submission. So in order to save it in a PDF, you just double click on it, open it, go to File, click on Print over here, select the name of the printer to be Microsoft Print to PDF, and just click on OK. It will print it in the PDF form. You don't have to make a report based on this. It's only an extract. Next is you're going to prepare a report which shows details of all sculptures made by a single sculptor. Sculptor is the one who actually makes the sculptures over a particular period. Point number 5 says select only the records which represent the sculptures made by the artist ID 25809 before 1999. Prepare and print a report showing this information. The header should include this, the details should include this, group the data by date. At the end of the report, show the total value of all the items. Once you prepare this report, it is to be displayed like this. So that's basically the custom design of your report. All right. So in order to start off with the report, first of all, first step is we're going to build the query. So we go to create, we click on query design, and we add all our tables. That's the starting point. Next, only the records which represent the sculptures made by the artist 25809 before 1999. So the artist is probably an artist ID. So we'll add that. Click on run. It should be made by 25809. So I will just copy this and go to my design view. Put this as my criteria. So only this artist ID is to be chosen. Before 1999 is probably in the date. So I will add date. Click on run. Before means less than 1999. So the criteria for date is going to be less than 1999. Done. Click on run. These are the 4 records. Okay. What else needs to be done? Prepare and print a report showing the details of this information. The header should include INVIT gallery and today's date. Artist ID, which is already added into our query, name and location. So we add 2 more fields, name and location. Name added, location added. Details row should show reference substance color, reference substance color, description and price, description and price. All added. Group the data by date. Date is already added into our query. We also applied a criteria on top of it. At the end of the report, show the total value of all the items. That can be done in the layout view in order to find the total. So basically we are done with the criteria and we are done with the adding all the fields to the query. We can't do anything else in the query design. So we have to save it. We close, save the query by the name of the report, which is INVIT gallery, and we click on OK. Then we select our query, go to create, we click on report wizard, select the correct query over here, which is INVIT gallery, and add all our fields. Click on next. Now at this point, again, Access is trying to specify or giving you an option to choose a form in which it will group the data. By default, it gives me this option, or the first option is this, that I can have artist ID, name, location at the top. It will have its own header. And then the detail section is going to have date, reference, substance, color, description, price. If I select this, this puts everything in the detail section and it will appear only once. If I select matter or material, it specifies or groups the data by substance or color, and the rest remains in the detail. Now, if I look at my requirement of the report, it said the header should include this. Artist ID, name and location should be also in the header section. Fine. And if I scroll down, try to look or examine my report, this is my title, Innovate Gallery, and the artist name location is also appearing at the top and only once. The next requirement of the report is we are also to show the details or the detail section to have reference, substance, color, description, and price. So there are 5 fields which are present in the detail section, which is also okay. So if you look closely, when I click on this particular view, it satisfies the requirement of my report. It has artist ID, name, location in one section. Detail section has date, reference, substance, color, description, price. Do we get this? So I can go ahead with this design. I will just click on next. Now it says, do you want to add any grouping levels? Yes, the examiner specified that the grouping level is to be made by the date. So I will select date and add it. So my header section is having artist ID, name, location, but my data is going to be grouped by date. We click on next. Ascending, descending is not specified. Even if you forget to do it, you can do it later after you build the report. We click on next. Orientation is not specified. The layout is going to be stepped. Adjust the field width so that all fields fit on a single page. We are pretty much fine with all the settings. We click on next. Now this needs to be changed to Innovate Gallery. What about today's date? We are going to add today's date later on. Preview the report. We click on finish. This is how the report is generated. Now we have to bring it according to the design specified in the paper. So we close the print preview and we have a look at this layout. All of these in the page header are basically referring to the labels. Artist header, this is basically representing data. Date header, this is actually representing the date data, date field data. So this is the label, this is the data. This is also the data referring to the fields which are present in the header. All right. First of all, we're going to fix the title, which says it should have Innovate Gallery along with today's date. Now, when you build the report, there are 2 elements which are added by Access by default. One is the date and one is the page number, and they are present in the page footer section. Ignore it. In the page footer section, this what you see is equals to now bracket open bracket close. You know this is the function to display today's date. We're just going to select this and we are going to bring it right next to our title. Head over to the layout. Let's try to match the font and the size and the color. So to me, this is actually Times New Roman. In bold, italic, size is probably 16, 18, even 20. You can specify it. We'll settle for a size which looks appropriate. So how are we going to do it? We select one, we click on format. Size is already 20, so we leave it as it is. Color is dark blue. It is bold. It is italic, and the font is supposed to be Times New Roman. So this is exactly how it appears in the exam. What about this? This also needs to be in the same format. So we are going to take the help of Format Painter. We select this, we click on Format Painter, and we select the date. So now the date is also in that right format. All I need to do in here is change the alignment. and use the arrow keys to place it right next to it. So date done. Now we come down to all these headings. Again, I'm going to set the color and the format of the text or the label first. So artist ID, name, location, date, reference, substance, color, description, all selected. Let's do them 14. The size to be 14. The color is blue, bold, italic, and Times New Roman. This reference seems to be not fitting into that box. I can resize it. Okay, so it is aligned onto the right hand side. I will just make it left hand side. Everything is fully visible. Now, next is only the placement which is left. So we head over to our design view. If we look at the report, in the header section, artist ID label, this is the data. Then we have the name label, this is the data. Then we have the location, and this is the data. So the data is right next to the label. I'm going to make some space here. Shift these labels over here. Location, data needs to be placed with location label. Name, shift location over onto the right hand side so we have space. Then we have the name data. Select and move it right next to the label. Shift it here. Then we have artist ID. Head over to layout so that you can reposition and resize. Artist ID, resize this. This is fine. And format, alignment change to left. Name is already fine. Location is fine. Move it right next to location like this. Now look at the section below. In the exam, it's appearing as the date is displayed as just once. The data is basically displayed in group format. What about the headings? The headings are appearing every time, or let's say separately in each group. Over in our report, it is only appearing once. Date is also seem to be in the same format. So we'll change the format for the data as well. Okay, so first of all, the headings. Headings are to be displayed in every group. Report layout design view. We take the headings and we place them in the date header section like this. Artist ID header is blank, so we are going to remove this. Okay, come back to our layout. So you can see all the dates are appearing, all the headings are appearing in each group. Now we are going to work with the placement. This seems to be in the same format, so I'll select date and click on format painter and select the dates. Then referring to the headings to be placed like this. Referring to this data, this is actually the reference. Move it, place it under reference. Substance, place it under substance. Then we have color, resize, place it under color. Description, move it, place it under description. That's about it. Where's the price, by the way? We also added price. Just look at the design view. Okay, the price for some reason is not added. Okay, this might happen to you in the exam as well. That, for instance, you build the query, you make the report, and a particular field is not being added into the report. How do we do it? We're not going to make the report all together over again from the scratch. What we're going to do is we're going to add the price to this report. The process is come to your design view, click on the report design, and over here you will have a button called add existing fields. Okay, so when we click on it, on the right hand side you will get to have the field list. You can see all the tables by clicking on this. We need price, so we just double click on it. When you double click on it, it will be added into your report, although the placement is not going to be desired place, but it will be added. Now over here the price and the data is displayed. I want to have the price to be displayed at the end and the label to be displayed in this section. So when I do this, you know that the label will move along with the data. So we are going to remove this label. We don't need this. We're going to add the label in this section on our own. So we click on label and write price. Description format applied to the price label. Head over to your layout, fix your heading or label like this. Best fit this, double click on it. Then what about this data? This data needs to have no outline. So we select the data, we click on format, we click on shape outline, and we set it to transparent. And then we're going to move it right underneath price. Since we are to give the total value of these items, so the price is being added. This is how you can add a missing field in your data. Next, total value of the items. Select the data of the price, head over to the report layout, totals, click on sum. Now this total is basically the total of the group. However, 745 is actually the total of all items. So we're going to keep 745 and delete all others. 745 needs to be formatted as currency. Let's see if we can apply the format of this data onto this. So we select this, we go to format, we click on format painter, and we select 745. Doesn't apply it. Okay, we right click on it, we go to properties, property sheet, format set to currency, decimal place is set to 2. That applied the format. You can add the label right next to it. So report layout design, we click on design view. This is the sum applied. We apply the label total value, let's say, and I will apply the same format of the description onto this. So let's say format painter on to the total value. Head back to the layout view, double click on it to best fit your label, and this is placed right next to the total, or you may move it a bit onto the left hand side. So this is the desired report as per the examiner's. This is not total value, it is total. So the label needs to be total colon, and the font size of the data is a bit larger as well. So you can fix that. Select this, go to format, change the size to let's say 14. Then resize so that the data is visible like this. This needs to be total colon, and the position is a bit further. Right, if you look at the print preview, that will give you the final look of your report. So that's how you build the custom report. Close, save all changes. Now, the next section is about the cross tab. You're going to prepare a report which summarizes some information about bear sculptures. Select from all the data only the records where the description is containing the word bear. Using this data, create a cross tab or a pivot table which shows description as row labels, substance as column headings. Show the number of each sculpture where the description contains the word bear. Add the title, summary, materials from which bears are sculpted, your name, center number, candidate number, and today's date to the report, and then print it. The pivot table should look something like this. Not exactly, but something like this, as close as possible. Crosstab in Access, pivot table in Excel. They are the same. They actually represent the frequency table. उसने बताया कि कितने ऐसे sculptures हैं जिनके अंदर bear आता है और based on the probably the substance they are to be listed. This is how it is. This is how it should look like. Now, how to create the crosstab in Microsoft Access. Again, you're going to start off with create, query design. You will add all your tables. Once added, keep this in mind, crosstab in Access can only be made if you have 3 minimum fields added to your query. Or in other words, you need 3 fields to make the crosstab. 2 fields के साथ नहीं बन सकता. कम से कम आपके पास 3 fields होनी चाहिए. 3 fields needs to be added to your crosstab query. 2 fields जो हैं वो एग्जामिनर ने स्पेसिफाई की हुई है. ये देखो, डिस्क्रिप्शन के ऊपर तो क्राइटेरिया लगना है, but it says using this data create a crosstab which shows description as row labels, substance as column headings. So 2 fields आपकी यूटिलाइज हो जाती हैं रोज के अंदर और कॉलम्स को डिस्प्ले करने में, उनकी हेडिंग्स में. 3rd फील्ड वो होती है जिसके ऊपर ऑपरेशन अप्लाई होता है. 3 फील्ड से कम अगर आप फील्ड्स ऐड करेंगे आपकी क्रॉस टैब नहीं बनेगी. 3 से ज्यादा हो सकती है लेकिन 3 से कम नहीं हो सकती क्रॉस टैब के लिए. ठीक है. सो फॉर दिस वी नीड 3 फील्ड्स. 2 आर बीइंग told to us. 3rd we are going to add on our own. First of all, we have to apply the criteria. So we add description and we add substance. Click on run. These are the records. We're going to specify the criteria as star bear star. Seems to be very much exactly like the extract that we did earlier. We click on run. These are the records. अब थर्ड फील्ड की बात आती है. बात करते हैं थर्ड फील्ड कौन सी ऐड होनी चाहिए. थर्ड फील्ड बेटा जी ऐड उससे होती है कि उसके ऊपर ऑपरेशन अप्लाई होता है. ऑपरेशन कौन सा अप्लाई हो सकता है? सम का, एवरेज का, काउंट का, स्टैंडर्ड डेविएशन एंड सो ऑन सो फोर्थ, जो एक्सेस आपको बेसिकली ऑफर करता है. So for this we need how many. That means we need to count. So any field, whether integer, whether it has text, it can be counted. Sum लिखा होता तो और बात होती, लेकिन हमने काउंट करना है. काउंट के लिए मैं कोई सी भी फील्ड डाल सकता हूं. You name any field from. I've taken substance from this. I've taken sculpture from the description from this table. Name any field from these 2 tables. कौन सी लो? मटीरियल. लो जी. So we added material here, right? 3 fields added. We're going to close the query. We're going to save it as query 1. This is not our cross tab. With the help of this, we're going to make the query or the cross tab. So we select query 1, we go to create, we do not click on report wizard. We are not building the report. We are to build the cross tab first. So we click on query wizard now. Query wizard, we click on cross tab query wizard, click on OK. Pehla step. कहता जी, which table or the query contains the fields you want for the cross tab query results? It is actually present in our query 1. So we select queries and we select query 1. Click on next. Which field values do you want as your row headings? It said that the description needs to be your row headings. So we select description and we add it as a selected field. 1 field utilized, 2 left. Click on next. Which field values do you want as your column headings? They also specified that the substance is to be used as column headings. So we select substance and we click on next. Last field left, which was material. We are to show the number of sculptures made with different substances. So we are to count them. Select material and we apply the operation of count. Look at this option. Do you want to summarize each row? Do you want a total at the end of the row? If you want it, if the examiner specifies, you should add it. Otherwise, uncheck it. In this particular case, we don't need it. So we uncheck it. We click on next. The name for the report, it can be the summary or whatever the title is, and we click on finish. So this is actually the summary report, or let's say the cross tab query. Now we are to add the title on top of it. We cannot add the title in the query design, obviously. We're just going to close it. Select the cross tab, we go to create and we click on report wizard. Now we are going to build the report based on the cross tab. Add all the fields, follow the same process of building a report. The title needs to be what? Summary, materials from which bears are sculpted. Materials from which bears are sculpted. Click on finish. That's how your summary report should look like. You can add your name, you can add your today's date. That is the end of it. Cross tab, always remember you need at least 3 fields. One is going to be utilized for row headings, one is going to be utilized for column headings, one is going to be utilized for operation. For operation, you can have only 1 field. For row and column headings, you may have, not even for column headings, only for row headings, you can have multiple fields if you want. Close the print preview, close the report, save it. That's the solution to your exercise 14.